Everybody to the first episode on here, Vorello Vision. I'm excited to introduce today's guest, Tyler, who's doing amazing work in the health and fitness space. Thanks for joining me, Tyler. For those who may not know yet, could you give us quick background on who you are and what it is that you do?
Yeah, so my name's Tyler Ross. I am a large group strength training coach. That basically means I supervise a lot of people at the same time while they throw around heavy objects. But I've been in the fitness industry for 15 years and I've taught over 10,000 large group classes. So I've had a lot of experience in that field and getting people together all at the same time doing a really tough workout is what I've seen to be very successful in the past, and one thing I've actually gained a lot of success from. So, and kind of learning how to bring more people together and how to keep people motivated is to me the most important thing, as I've learned kind of coming through my career. So, and like I said, I've been doing that for almost 15 years. I'm based out of Florida, South Florida specifically, and my gym, LvLUp Fitness in Boca Raton. We do classes morning and night to teach people how to do strength training specifically. So that's kind of now my current role in the fitness industry.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. You said you're located in Florida, correct?
Yeah, so we're in West Boca Raton,
Okay.
so down in Palm Beach County. We're now about to hit our 3-year anniversary of our gym,
Yeah.
and just trying to expand the word that we exist and telling more people about it and trying to get away from doing as many hit workouts because
Right.
currently hit is king. So we're trying to change the game a bit and teach people more that hey, lifting weights has its place as well.
Okay, for sure. And I was actually going to, that was my next point was celebrating 3 years and almost 3 years in business. So congratulations for that. That's a huge milestone. I know there's several people who don't make it past their first year, so for you guys to make it on year three is awesome. I've seen that you guys are doing like mini workshops as well, right?
Yeah, those are things we do to just keep our members engaged because it's more than just the workout itself. People, they want the things that are going to help them be successful outside of the gym because we always say it is only an hour at the very most you'll be spending, well, sometimes at the most, that you'll be spending in the gym.
Right.
And it's important to have all those other pieces kind of spelled out for you as well. So if we can do workshops in-house that can make it convenient for people to get the information, and all the workshops we do, we always live stream to our social media, so even if you can't be there in person, we kind of teach you like whatever it may be, whether it's a recovery workshop, it could be about nutrition, it could be how to get more out of your sets and reps when you are doing strength training exercises.
Yeah.
So yeah, very important to have the workshops.
Love that. Yeah. And I like how you do not just the in person, but also like the online presence as well, because not everybody can be everywhere all at once, right? So sharing that to everybody is not only genuine, but also just very handy for people who are maybe on a work trip or maybe on a vacation. They want to still stay intact with their health. They can attend those as well. So I respect that. Could you share a little more on the hit you were talking about that people focus on?
Yeah, just it means high intensity interval training.
Right.
If you've never heard or familiar with the term, it's what a lot of large group gyms are working with right now because in the past they've seen it work. It gets people's heart rates up, it gets people out of breath, gets them sweating, gets them a little sore. The problem is the nature of the workouts, for what people are looking to accomplish. They want to look better, they want to improve their body composition. Hit can only get you so far because you do have to take the time to really train your muscle bellies to get bigger so that way you have the shape there. So that way when you do lose body fat, you have this physique underneath. And a lot of the time those hit workouts, if not programmed properly, they can sometimes they may not have adequate strength training to elicit that stimulus, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. So it's like they can lose the weight, right? But if they lose the weight just by doing the hits, they may not have the physique or the strength that they may need for whatever it is, right?
Yeah, I did a bodybuilding competition years and years ago. It was when I was in my early 20s, and one thing I learned once I cut the weight, I'm like, oh, I am way smaller than I thought I was. You're like, especially if you're somebody who typically does work out regularly and you've been doing it for some years, and you don't realize the body fat you have on you, you've probably got a little more than you were even expecting. So when you
Right.
do lose it all for something like a competition, you're like, whoa, like building muscle, it really does take more time than people expect, and it can take longer, but that's not a bad thing because once you have it, it's harder to lose it once you have it. That's the best part of
Yeah.
the muscle.
Right. Yeah, cool. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, not only myself, but I know I have many friends, family members, and people watching this as well, I'm sure, have focused on either losing weight or gaining weight, but maybe they don't have the physique or the strength that they want when getting to that point. And I think what you guys focus on probably, helps with that mainly, right? Instead of just, shedding something. Well, you need the strength, you need the physique that you want, right? Instead of just having like the shell, right? So love that, man. What first drew you into this type of work?
So I actually started lifting weights when I was younger. I was probably 13 or 14 when I actually started I didn't really at the time it was working out, it was exercise. I was kind of a bigger kid. I wanted to lose some weight. So my dad bought me some 5 pound dumbbells and taught me a few exercises. And a lot of it was just kind of learning stuff as I went along through my years in school, through high school, played sports and always, strength trained then. Didn't really know what I was doing, but I was just doing a lot of the motions and then continued to do it through college, made into a career when I was like 19, 20 years old, and then kind of the rest is history, and it's just all been learning and development from there. So it's taken a long time, but I think it's just the want to help people because this is such a, quite frankly, the fitness industry is not very good at getting people to lose weight and get stronger as much as we like to say we are. I mean, unfortunately, there's 60% of our population is deemed overweight. Um,
Yep.
so it's one of those things where, if we were better at it, that number would be lower. So hopefully, as someone in the industry, we can continue to refine our skills, get people more motivated so they stick with the gym longer. But that's kind of why I felt like, and then for strength training, there were no concepts out there that centered around it and made it a focal point for people to physically get stronger in a group setting.
Yep.
CrossFit kind of did that. They kind of had a moment where it could have been a big thing, but they were confused whether they wanted to be a competition brand or a fitness brand, and that was kind of their downfall.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you feel like people in a group setting, do you feel like it makes them more like comfortable like doing the work type of workouts so they don't feel like as, put off, or could you elaborate more on that like with the group workouts?
Yeah, well, so yes and no. Yes, it absolutely motivates people. If you've got a good environment and a great community of people, they're lifting each other up, it can be fantastic. The flip side of that is you go to a gym where it's very intimidating. There's not a warm presence there, like a warm front desk to bring you in, or even the trainer doesn't have a good bedside manner. And that can sometimes turn a lot of people off. And especially when it comes to lifting weights and barbells and kettlebells, those are very intimidating pieces. So if there's not a relatively simple approach to get new people on board and teach them how to do that stuff, it can be really difficult to kind of build up a following. But that is why the community aspect is so important, is
Yeah.
because if it is positive, then you got people where they just want to come back and they want to get back with their gym buddies. They're seeing results because they're coming every day because they feel motivated to come in. And that in turn is what will keep their results.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like like people focus on, like motivation's super important, but discipline's like even more important, right? Because you could have the motivation all day, that people surrounding you, but if you don't have the discipline of like actually going somewhere and doing something with somebody like a friend or a support group like you guys have, it's kind of just like they kind of fall off track, a bit more. And I'm guilty of it myself, right? I feel like it's more like, hey man, you want to go to the gym? Yeah, let's go to the gym. Or no, I don't want to go to the gym. Okay, I'll just stay home and rot in bed then. And we typically see that a lot. And like you said, unfortunately, 60+% of America is, overweight, unfortunately. And, if you guys can be the ultimate, moving piece to help people get better in that aspect, we respect that a lot, right? So
Mhm.
now, of course, no path is easy, and this could be business or personal, right? But what were some of the, biggest struggles like early on, or what challenges do you guys still face as you grow?
Early on, it was me realizing that I needed to tell way more people than I thought I did because I worked at another hit gym
Right.
for about 7 years prior to that. I cut my teeth there, taught a bunch of classes, and really learned the business and the trade. And I, had a little following. You built it up on social media. You befriend people on Facebook. When COVID happened, everybody needed a place to go to. So I kind of scooped everybody, was like, hey, if you guys are all done with this other place, you could join this place that I'm building right now. And I realized I thought I had a lot of people to kind of buy in and start. And we did. We opened up with almost 100 people to start the gym. which was great, but you got to have so much more than that. You got to have the constant flow of people coming in to try your classes. It's that constant, it's always finding those things to get people to, like I said, stay motivated and to find the convenient things that will keep them coming back. So is it easy to book classes? Is it, quite frankly, easy to get into where the gym is?
Right.
Do I enjoy their content? And they're providing me value so that I want to continue to come back.
Right.
So it's that's kind of been the tricky part, is what are all those little intangibles that makes it difficult for someone to get to a workout that we can make really easy, or make a no-brainer that, oh, this is just what I do, and it's just part of my routine, and it's super easy for me to get done. And that's why I'm consistent.
Okay. Yeah, and that's I like how you brought up the COVID thing because we speak with I mean I spoke with, people in person, online, whatever, and they're like, in person was popping for, 5, 6, 7 years, and then COVID hit, boom, people got unmotivated, undisciplined, they had nowhere to go. We had to stay, locked up and everything. And then if people didn't have anywhere to go virtually or online, then a lot of people stopped working out and unfortunately, gained more weight. And for you guys to focus on like the online presence, like I mentioned earlier, is important. But you feel like I know you mentioned certain like tangibles and getting people to actually stay in online is a bit tougher than the online, or I mean in the in person, right? Because if you're in person, I mean you could show them this, show them this, show them this, but online it's like, okay, we could show you, but it's a lot harder to hold you accountable because we're not face to face, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
do you feel like definitely like in person has been more, let's see, like do you feel like you're able to convince people to stay more consistent in person rather than online?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, and if you're able to work with people in person, more likely you're able to get them to stick with you, be committed, financially invest, which is even more commitment, like the money, as much as in the fitness industry, we may not like to discuss it or talk about it, but that little financial commitment is big on on that consumer. If they're going to hand over their money, they're like, okay, I'm willing to part ways with this, work with you because I have confidence that you're going to get me where I want to go. So that it for people, and I'm all about doing free stuff. Like the whole reason why I even have this gym to begin with was because I ran a free boot camp while I was working at this other gym to
Okay.
kind of do my own thing. And I did it for free for probably 6 or 7 years. I did it every Saturday morning, and I kind of took that little group, and they were kind of like my original group that brought them over to the gym, and then everyone else kind of followed after that. But that was all for free, and you got to do some of that kind of in the beginning, but after a while, if you really want people to get committed and you really want them to, if they want to actually see change, there, it does help to have that financial transaction a little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, I feel like that financial transaction, like you said, a lot of people look at it as like a doom to their success, whether it's financial, like a financial sacrifice or something. But what they don't realize at the end of the day, they're putting something down to keep them, accountable. If you're not in person with somebody, it's harder to keep them accountable. So if you're just strictly online and virtual, that money down is like, hey, we're not doing this to like try to hurt your life, but if you want to stay accountable and actually be healthy, lose weight, gain muscle, whatever it is, this will help, keep you committed, discipline, motivation, accountability. So I'm glad you brought that up, right? I
Mhm.
feel like more people are leaning on that towards these days, like the whole, online, fitness business type stuff. We see that a lot these days. Now, I know there's a lot of noise in every industry, especially
Mhm.
the fitness, health, wellness space. There's a lot of noise, right? Whether it's good or bad. How would you say you guys stand out from everybody else? And what's your unique angle or belief that sets you apart from the crowd?
No, good question. Because yeah, there's a million different concepts out there, and what makes us any different? What makes anything any different? The thing that does make us different is we focus on strength training first. That's our main priority, which again a lot of gyms don't do. Cardio is still very much a high focal point, which there's nothing wrong with that. I know I've been talking a lot, as I say, bad on hit training and cardio, but again, I
Same.
did it for years. It's great
Yep.
training. You can get in great shape doing it, but
Right.
it's what people are truly looking for. They want their physique to look better. They want their body fat to go down. They want to feel better.
Yep.
So the what really stands us apart is our focal point on our members. I think I almost like on our social media, I try to make my members little like pseudo celebrities. It's like they're a celebrity in the gym, and it's like, hey, here's so and so. They've been here for 6 months, and they shared their testimonial. And a year later, oh hey, here's an update on so and so. You know, here's how they're now looking. So it's like, oh, I remember her. Oh my God, so good to see that she's still there and kicking butt and
Yeah.
taking names and kind of always doing that. And there's not very many gyms. Some are now, some are, but many it's hard because you gotta really get personal with somebody. You gotta be like, hey,
Yeah,
I
of
want to like talk about your story that you probably don't want to talk about, but we
course.
do. We want to broadcast it to everybody.
Yeah. I I appreciate you sharing that because a lot of gyms or online fitness businesses or in person, it doesn't matter what it is, they have stuff that can help people. But with what you guys are actually focusing on the individual and making them feel like, hey, we care about you, right? We're not just here trying to, make you come in for an hour a day and, get exhausted and then leave or take your money. We actually care about focusing on your situation, like you said, making them feel like a celebrity and like, hey, you got this. Come on, let's go. Like
Mm.
that better life that you're wanting, whether it's gaining more muscle, losing more weight, clearing up that brain fog, whatever it is, that's on the other side of you putting in the work. And if you just keep going, you're going to be about it, right? And I feel like that's a lot of like main issues in the space these days. People are in it for the wrong reasons, right? And
Mm.
I could kind of feel. I know we're not in person, but I could feel it through the screen that you're already a genuine guy in terms of actually helping people. And a lot. I've talked to many people in person, and I could feel this more this type of energy where it's like you're in it for the wrong reason, man. Like, come on. And sometimes I've called people out on it, whether they like it or not. But I believe in actually helping people, right? And I respect you guys for that. So I'd love for you to share a story. I like to do this with everybody I talk to in person, especially. A story about. I know you mentioned like certain clients you've had, make them feel like they're celebrities, or so it could be a client, a project, or just a moment where you saw like a real breakthrough in the business, or even like a personal experience of yours throughout your journey.
Boy, that's tough. Because as a trainer, especially if you've been doing it for a while, you should have a good fair amount of testimonials and transformations. I mean, they're all wildly special. Every single one of them, I really value and I really care a lot about. And again, you're changing someone's life.
Mhm.
I've got a couple ladies that I've trained with over the years. I have this one lady who's a little bit older. Just she reminds me so she's like the Jewish version of my own mother, like funny enough. So I just see that a little bit in her, and I always just want to like help her as much as I can. And I've worked with her at the old place. She followed me over to the new place that we're at now, and I've just seen this full just transformation of not only like physique and body, but also like mindset of habits of like every single piece that somebody needs to do to get their wellness right. And I've seen this lady do that, and the results are, and she's in her, I want to say she's in her probably late 60s. She looks incredible. She looks amazing. We're all so proud of her. And she keeps going. She only wants to get bigger, better and stronger, not bigger, but better and stronger,
Right, right.
But it's yeah, so and there's so many moments like that, that's what's cool about being in this business is that, that with all the struggles and all the hardships that kind of come with it and you're trying to get new people in the door, you're trying to get people sold, when you do finally like see some success that in the product, it just like it makes me it's what you do this for. It's the real passion behind it.
Yeah, that's what goes back to the generosity thing. It's like we have, whether it's business, personal life, doesn't matter what it is, there's always going to be struggles and stuff that, is in the back of our subconscious brain that's saying, hey, let's just slow down, maybe let's stop. But then those testimonials of that lady and many other people like you talked about are like, no, they're counting on me, right? We gotta keep going. We gotta help them out. And helping them, seeing them be happy makes you happy. And that just makes the whole light a lot bigger in terms of your personal life, the business, the community, their individual lives. And that's just good for the whole space in general, right? And I feel like it's what a lot more of the space needs.
Yeah, and to kind of close on that point is, I anyone can do it because I started off in a small town in the middle of the state that not a lot really happening, like very little on the poorer side and everything, and I was able to get out, and you're able to, if you work hard enough, if you really put your effort into it, and if you really give a shit, you can really get where you want to go. Like I never thought in a million years I would actually have my own place. Like it just the way the stars aligned and like all that, but it is a lot of hard work. It was a lot of the like hard work and then a little bit of luck, but the work that was put in, I don't think enough people realize the amount of effort it really does take to essentially move a mountain and get something going like this. Like, I for all I should know, I should be working, anywhere else. So I don't know. I just want your viewers and listeners to know that, hey, this can happen. It can happen to you. If you're doing good work and people are getting results, keep going. And it's something you want to keep doing. Don't slow up, especially if you do have some talent and you're starting to see those results pan out for your clients. Anything can really happen. I know that's a little, preachy, but I just, as somebody who it happened to and never thought it would.
Yeah. No, I like how you call out the viewers, right? Anybody watching this right now, take it, your last name's Ross, correct?
Yep.
The man Tyler Ross at Level Up Fitness. I don't care if it sounds preachy at all. I love it. The people need to hear that. And, some people have doubts, fears, whatever. It does take hard work. And you said it's a little bit of luck. But the luck comes from putting yourself in a position to where you get that luck, right? Luck doesn't just come from somebody who rots in bed all day, hoping that somebody comes to save them, right? It comes from putting yourself in the position to where you can actually see success with whatever amount of success that you see is, and that will motivate you to keep going. And the love light you're at now is great, and I'm sure you guys are going to keep substantially growing as you go. So I appreciate you sharing that. That was don't think you're preachy at all. I love that. Right.
Appreciate that.
So I guess my next one, I guess touching on that, just the whole growing aspect, the next 6 to 12 months, right, or even 2 years from now. What's the vision, right? Where do you want to take things next with your personal life, business, level up fitness, all of that stuff?
No, great question. Our goal is the way I see gyms, you've got like your box gym, like an LA Fitness, you've got your like F45, Orange Theories, and then you hopefully what I'm trying to create here. And we want to make it into a like transformation studio. So it's like, hey, most gyms they're like, hey, come work out, come do our workouts, come follow our plans, yada yada, and you might get results. It's like, no, really, like we're gonna have a program hopefully starting in the new year that our members can join, and it's like, hey, we're gonna really hone in on every aspect of your like nutrition, of your lifting. We're going to get your maxes up. We're going to really do like weight calculations and make sure you're lifting the right amount of weights. There's all these little things we can do as a
Yeah,
service that other gyms really aren't doing, that if we could really like systematize it and make it where, hey, this is just part of the program and this is what they do, and you're almost guaranteed to get results, which would be unheard of in the fitness industry because results always vary. It's always a
yeah,
matter of if people do it. But if we can provide enough, like I said earlier, of the convenient, the easy ways for people to be successful and show them everything all at once, and this is all you got to do is follow this plan and do it in a big group setting, then we might have something.
of
So
course, right. That's bouncing back to what we talked about earlier, that group setting, but then also just bringing everybody in, the motivation, the discipline. Like people love to see calculations with different things, the convenience with it. People, this world these days, we're so used to being able to just get on our phone and click a button, and we could have anything like that. And I'll be honest, I'm 20. I'm super young, but it's like that's just the truth of it, right? I'm probably more guilty of it myself than like maybe like anybody else that's older than me. But people always look for convenience, and that's not always a bad thing because if you can provide that for people to better their life in a good, wise, and genuine way, why not do it, right? Where I wouldn't say we're conditioned or brainwashed, but it's like we are conditioned in the world these days to where if we can have convenience, then why not do it, right?
well, think about it. Every business is revolved around making things, easier, simpler, more convenient,
Yep.
or cheaper for the end consumer so that they can sell more.
Yeah,
And fitness is like anything else. It's like any other. I mean, it's how we do it, at least in the business world. It's like, hey, we do want to make it where, you want to look a certain way. Well, we can almost guarantee it because of like the process we do, the people we have in place, the plan that we have for you. And if people follow it, if they, and to your point, the patience part, that's the only thing about fitness is that you truly, to build a body, you have to be patient. There's no way around it. We're trying, we're trying with Ozempic and steroids and all kinds of different things to,
yeah.
to make it happen faster. But, biology is biology. And we haven't figured out how to make that fast yet. So for right now, to do it the healthy way, to do it the more sustainable way, is what we're really focusing on.
Yeah. Okay. And jumping into the point of like, really dialing in on the body. I've heard several different opinions, right? And I think I have my own, which I'll share mine in a second. What percentage do you feel like diet is the most important compared to the actual physical training?
Well, it depends what somebody wants to do. So if somebody is looking to improve their body composition, they want to get leaner, they're trying to just lose body fat, diet becomes probably the most important. You could be doing all kinds of training, no matter what the training is, cross country skiing, which is one of the most highly calorie dense things you can do. And if you're still eating, excess calories, if your body's in a surplus at the end of the day, nothing's going to change. So that's for that. On the flip side, if you are training to be a cross country skier or do a marathon or something that requires tons of energy, nutrition is very important. You want to fuel your body. You want lots and lots of food. So nutrition, no matter what, is always important. I think in any aspect, whether you're training, whether you're not, obviously it's how we stay functioning and how we stay upright at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So to get people to really learn to dial in on that, as soon as someone figures out their nutrition and what really works for them, they're off to the races.
Yep, for sure. I agree. Right. So
Mhm.
many people. I actually have a best friend. He's going to be doing bodybuilding shows. I think it'll be a year and a half from now, or after he's bulking right now. He's going to cut and then he's going to do a show, I think. But he's doing a bulk right now, but not in the appropriate way. Of like it's just like the it's just bad. Like he's just the ingredients he's having is just super unhealthy. And I'm like, hey man, you're building a little bit of, fat or muscle on the outside, but your gut is making your brain foggy. You're not even thinking right at this point. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, dude, try this for a week or two and you'll feel better. He tried a little something different. He said he felt better, but he's like, I don't care. I just need to bulk up. And I'm like, dude, the diet's so important, because what happens when you do need to cut, but then it's going to be harder to cut because you're trying to flush out all the bad toxic stuff in your body. He's just like, I'll figure it out. And I'm like, dude, come on, man. You got to be more serious about it. You're going to be competing. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
That's not bashing him. I love him. He's probably watching this right now. Like, come on, Jet. But no, you're a great guy. His name is Gunner. So hopefully he's watching this. But I'll probably be showing his stuff on my channel soon with him competing and stuff. Right.
Well, to his defense, all of us have gone through those phases where like I got to get as much in as I possibly can to because that is what helps increase size. You got to
Yeah.
consume more calories. You got to consume more protein if you want to physically get bigger. Again, that's why it's all important. And then coming back to why it's important for strength training is that if you want to actually build muscle, you got to have the protein, you got to have the carbs. And for whatever reason, people, they believe that either you don't or it's not as important. I think people just they don't know what they really don't know, or they don't. It's like dentist telling you to brush your teeth 2, 3 times a day. If you people are just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Some people that like don't. I mean, I do, but I know people that don't.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I talk to them, and I'm like, Jesus, man.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Like, calm down.
it's people have and people they hear that it is old bro science, because truthfully you can still get big gains by just being in a slight surplus. You don't have to do this crazy dirty bulk. If you're just a
Yeah.
little bit above your calorie surplus and it's mostly protein, you'll put on size.
Yeah, I need to share that with him. And you reminded that me in my brain because I need to put more muscle mass on myself, and just like a little bit of a surplus with more protein, very important, right? So definitely focus on that. So I mean, you've had a great journey, sounds like. Been in it for many, many years now. I mean, you mentioned, the goal for it is like coming into the new year, like you guys are having this new thing for people to where, easier calculations, more convenience and all of that. Uh, for right now and even in the future, hypothetically, if you had like a magic wand, right? Let's say you just had a
Mhm.
magic wand, and you could be able to fix just one thing in the business right now, right? That's either holding you back or slowing you down to get there. What would that one thing be?
Hmm. Uh, it's tough because there's always little things here or there that I mean, obviously getting the word out, more marketing. If I had the ability to just, scream from put it on everybody's background on their phone, said, hey,
Yeah,
we're Level Up Fitness, here's where we're located, come get really
right.
strong. That would be great. Always having staff readily available, or people that are like talent trainers, front desk. I've got a great team right now. But if we truly want to like expand and put more of these places everywhere, then I obviously have to have a lot more good people. So
Yeah,
having the ability to do that easily, just anything that is probably challenging for most businesses is very similar to what a gym is. It's just the product and uh, execution's a little bit different.
right. Okay. Yeah, so just getting the word out there, like marketing stuff, and then obviously staff members, and then also just kind of you're figuring out the moving pieces, right, as you go on. Kind of just like every business, right? So
Yeah, and then I'm sorry, and then the other thing is like how to really market, the fact that people did get results. You can post it
yeah,
before and after, but sometimes that doesn't land as hard as if you show a video of somebody who's working out at your gym 2 years prior, and then you show them 2 years later, and they look totally different. Like that speaks way more than a photo. So little
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah, of course. Like I mean, I've even experienced it myself with looking at certain things. I'm like, oh, cool. That picture. Okay. But then I scroll a little down, like a little further down, it's like a video of that same person in the picture talking, like an interview with you.
Mhm.
And then it just brings out way more conviction. And it's like, oh, okay, they are actually using this guy, Tyler at LvLUpFitness, to actually figure this out. I'm gonna go with them rather than, some other whatever local people, because you
Mhm.
guys actually help people, you know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
okay. Quick fire. Quick fire round. I do this with everybody.
Mhm.
Three main questions I want to ask. First one, what is your favorite book or podcast, business related or health and fitness related?
I'm a big fan of that Alex Hormozy. I think anyone that's in the fitness industry, if you don't know about him, you need to look him up because he started in gyms, knows everything there is to really know about and not more about business. I mean, the guy's very, very bright, and I think he's like my age. He's only a few years older than me, so which is kind of cool. So anything by that guy, podcast, books, definitely recommend.
Okay, for sure. What is a tool inside of the business or personal life, health, fitness, doesn't matter what it is, a tool that you cannot live without?
Hmm. I know it's supposed to be rapid fire. Probably my organization apps. I'm so unorganized. I'm one of the most unorganized people like ever, and the apps that I have keep me somewhat streamlined. So I think having valuable like applications like to-do list apps that I actually go to and I check things off and I actually get things done. Anything that helps me get things done.
Okay. So jumping off track with the rapid fire, quick fire, could you elaborate on which apps specifically are helping you with your day-to-day tasks? So maybe some of the viewers can use them as well.
Yeah, there's still mine. It's like a deadlines app. It's one called Deadlines. It's everything's color coded, and you could prioritize things differently. I mean, Outlook, just really utilizing things like Outlook. I mean, just some of the basic business. Really, it's not as complicated as I think as some people seem to make it. It's just whatever you works for you to keep things going and makes it easy for you. And
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody watching right now, take the word from him. You don't have to make things as complicated as they need to be, and that's with everything.
yeah,
Just put in the work, put in the reps, and you'll be on your way to whatever it is that you want to achieve. Just
100%.
consistency, right? So the last one of the rapid fire. What is one myth in your industry, health and fitness, that you'd love to bust?
That well, there's a lot, but one that I can think of right now off the top of my head is that sweating equals hard work. I still hear a lot. It's still something you hear all the time. Like I'm sweating, I'm working hard. Oh, I sweated so much. Like that was such a hard workout. And I want to tell people like sweat is just your body's way of regulating your temperature. Like because our gym is air conditioned, we have a big fan going on the whole time, and it's weightlifting. But it's a lot of time, it's not a lot of cardio, so people aren't necessarily sweating profusely, but yet they're getting good results. They're feeling it. They're sore the next day, and I'm like, well, you barely sweated yesterday. So the whole sweating thing, like, not to mention if you're a gym owner and it's a place that sweats and there's sweat all over the place, your equipment goes faster, your floor gets more disgusting, things fall apart way faster.
Yeah.
Don't everybody doesn't need to worry about sweating so much.
Okay.
Get from Florida, I'm used to sweating. You don't need to sweat that much. Trust me.
Okay. That makes me feel a little more confident on my workouts because, like, I'll be honest, I play basketball like 34 times a week and I sweat during that. That's my main cardio. But when
Mhm.
I go do like strength training, I don't really sweat that much. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, like my armpits, maybe the back of my head will get sweaty, but I don't really sweat. Like, I feel like the burning sensation. I'm out of breath. I'm sore the next day. I see results, but I don't sweat much. Right.
Yeah,
So,
let me clarify that too. Yeah, what you're saying there, a little perspiration back of the head, like under the armpits, that's what I'm talking about that my people are kind of experiencing, maybe a little sweat in the back of the shirt. Sometimes you get a little sweaty, but I'm talking about
yeah.
like that, like a pool of sweat after a
Yeah.
workout.
Yeah.
You're just completely drenched. You have to have a towel to get into your car. Like that's not necessary.
Okay. Yeah, I
You
was
don't have to.
wondering. Yeah. My some of my buddies would say you must not be putting in enough work in the gym. You're never sweaty when when I see you after the gym and I'm
Whatever, whatever.
like what do you mean? And even basketball, I sweat pretty often, but like you said, the air conditioning in the sports complex, yeah, I play really hard, but my body just doesn't sweat that much even if I drink a lot of water or electrolytes. I don't know why. I just don't sweat much, right?
Right, right. You're just one of those people, and I'm one of those people where if I go out in the Florida humidity for more than 20 minutes, my pores open up, So it's just,
Yeah.
but I didn't work hard. I didn't do anything. I stepped outside. That to me is especially being in Florida, like I get a lot of experience with sweat, so yeah, it's just probably the one thing that I still hear every now and again that I'm like,
Yeah,
it's a myth.
yeah, for sure. Okay. Before we wrap up, Tyler, where can people follow your work, learn more, or connect with you?
Yeah, so we're on social media, Instagram, Level Up Fitness. The handle is LVL UP Fit FLA. If you want to look that up, we're www.levelupfitfl.com is our website. Like I said, we have a gym physical location in South Florida in West Boca Raton. We do classes morning and night, and we teach people how to lift weights in a safe and effective manner. And my partner and I also have a podcast as well. We're slowly getting that off the ground. It's mostly for our members, so it's very content specific for them. But we do talk about general fitness and wellness as well, and that's called the Level Up Lab. And that's all the places you can find me.
Okay. Awesome. And if a listener right now or in whenever, takes just one action from today's conversation, what should it be?
Go get involved in strength training. Go find yourself a personal trainer. Go join a weightlifting gym. It's not going to hurt you, and you're better off starting sooner than later because everybody can benefit. And one thing we always tell people is, more muscle means better health, straight up.
Okay. Awesome. Once again, Tyler, thanks for getting on. It's been awesome. I'm sure whoever watches this will get some great takeaways, as myself will as well. For everyone else, thanks for watching the very first episode here on Vorello Vision. We will see you on the next episode.